Hi, everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell. And of course, I'm Russell, and I'm in my Moscow kitchen today. Now, I just thought I'd try a little bit of a different time of doing a live stream. Now, I know this is quite a bit later than I'd done the previous ones before this one. So I just thought I'd just see if this is a more suitable time. Now, I guess my biggest downfall is not scheduling the live streams and giving people that time to come on and do them. So I just thought I'd kind of give this a try, see if anybody kind of jumps into the live stream at this time. Of course, with so many viewers around the world, it's very difficult to kind of find that good medium of when everybody wants to watch it, or if people are going to watch the live stream literally. Do you watch it in the evening? Do you watch it in the morning? Do you watch it in the afternoon? Sundays maybe are better because it's the weekend, Saturdays, Sundays. Midweek, maybe people are working, maybe people aren't working. So it's very difficult to kind of find a perfect time to do this. So, Dimmer, how's it going? Greetings from Moscow. Здравствуйте. Or Privyet, whichever one is suitable once we know each other, right? The greeting changes from Здравствуйте to Privyet. So, yeah, I'm trying to sort of find an ideal time to go live. Of course, people will be in the chat. Some people won't be in the chat. Some people will watch it on replay later. So, you're just ending editing for your new video. Nice. I wonder what you went and filmed. Did you go and film something today, or have you done it in the last couple of days, I wonder? I stayed home today. I didn't go out. It was actually kind of a nicer day today than the previous day. There was no snow. It was basically sort of overcast and cold. But it wasn't snowing at all today. So I thought I'd stay home. There was actually some Australian football on that I stayed in to watch, which I could watch via streaming on the internet, so to speak, right? So the joys of a VPN, which gives you kind of worldwide TV access here, so you can watch anything from any channel on any sporting event. So actually, it's kind of just crazy to think that you can kind of sit in your kitchen here in Russia and watch Australian channels with Australian commentary. Of course, it's basically exactly what the TV stations are showing in Australia. You can watch them live right here. Sort of thing. You don't have to be in a country where it's on to watch it. I know that seems a little bit sort of obscure. Which VPN can you recommend? I don't really recommend any VPNs. I literally use a free VPN. That's what I'm doing. I don't really have any recommendation of one because I never really used one before now. Literally never used one at all. So I guess you could kind of Google them. I think, and it doesn't really bother me really as such which one I would use, or as long as it works and gives me access to things like, obviously here in Russia, Facebook isn't working, Instagram isn't working, Twitter isn't working, PayPal isn't working. There's like a long list of things that have been kind of completely shut off. So as long as I can get access to use Facebook, I don't really use Instagram personally. So I'm just going to close a couple of windows here because there's a few extra windows open that I didn't need. So yeah, it's just a matter of kind of just finding the one that works. And I mean, there's a lot of paid ones, which gives you more access. The one I'm using doesn't give you the VPN to go through Australian servers. So the one I'm using, I think, is going through like France or the Netherlands. So when you actually open it and then maybe open other websites, it's interesting because like for the Facebook, for the YouTube, it will go to kind of like French recommended channels and things like that. So versus if I were to use it with the Australian servers, I guess the only thing I kind of miss out on is I could do online betting back in Australia via my couple of betting accounts that I had on my phone. They don't allow you to bet out of country, but if you use it through a VPN, then you could. So I guess like for the football today, I could have had a bet on my team winning or the other team losing. It was a local derby today, so it was two different Australian teams from my city, from Perth, that played each other. They do it twice per year in the season, and then each team gets the home and away advantage. But obviously, at the home stadium, it doesn't really advantage you that much. But I guess it's based on the membership. So if it's a home game for one team, they can have more fans there versus the other team's home team, or that makes sense, right? So yeah, so I wonder, everybody, if you might want to mention in the comments. I was going to plan tomorrow to go and create a new video or two. The one we're going to work on with my wife together is we're going to do an apartment tour of our apartment. Now, obviously, it gives away a little bit about where we live. Meaning I've seen actually somebody else do it where they've actually rented an Airbnb for the day, or like for one night, just to film a tour of a, let's say, traditional Russian apartment, especially one of the kind of Soviet or pre-Soviet apartments, and then film that. And that's the title of their video, Soviet apartment tour, or how much is the cost of the apartment rent. Babushka apartment, right, Dima? Yeah, you could do like a tour of that kind of style apartment. The building that we live in is quite a bit more modern. I think it's only about 10. I think it's about 10 or 11 years old, I believe, the building. So ours is a kind of more modern apartment. It's a 14-level apartment here that we live in. But a lot of the apartments that you see across Russia generally are either 5-level or 9-level apartments. So depending on the period that they were built in. So if I do one of our apartment, obviously it may be a bit biased in the fact that ours is a more modern place where we're living. But I think it's still interesting just to kind of point out some features of Russian apartments. Actually today, interestingly, the owner of our apartment, we rent this place where we live. He came literally to pick up his rent from us. So he literally comes once per month. And I was actually asking my wife afterwards, I'm like, it's interesting how he wants to come every month to take the rent. I mean, why we couldn't just simply bank transfer it to him? It would be even easier than us having to take the money and have it waiting for him. And then he brought like the bill for the electricity and water at the same time. So yeah, if anybody is in the chat wants to ask any questions, maybe you watched the previous video where I went to the shopping center and did a little bit of a tour. I went and had a little mini food review at the same time. I wonder if you found that interesting. If you have watched that video, it's kind of interesting to see that shopping center. That's not the immediate one near where I live. It's a little bit further away, but it's actually really convenient to get to. I can literally catch 2 buses, one from where I live, like at the end of the street, to the main metro station, to Salarevo metro station, which is the red line that runs through the middle of Moscow. And then I literally get off that bus and catch another bus that goes straight to that shopping center. It goes through kind of a few suburban areas, but you end up at that shopping center. And it's kind of really nice and convenient. Actually, once you know the bus system here, it's super convenient. If you come here and don't know it and don't feel comfortable, you'll end up on the wrong bus going in the wrong direction. The driver doesn't really tend to answer your questions so well. You tend to end up asking someone else waiting in line for the buses, is this one going here? Is this one going there? So I I been to that shopping center a couple of times. We've actually gone out there by taxi, by car. Actually, even you can go to another metro station, which is quite a lot further away, but it's the nearer one to that shopping center. But it's really the long way to get there. But I found these sort of couple of different shortcut buses that get there much quicker. So there's a really useful apps here in Moscow that you can use that give you the live tracking of the buses. So you can literally pull up an app on your phone and it shows you the exact place where the buses are in live real time, which is really cool. I mean, they're a few seconds or so out, but they're not too far off. So you know that the bus is literally coming around the corner or down the street. So, we have some other people. There's actually a few other people in the chat. We got one thumbs up as well. So whoever gave that thumbs up, thank you. I appreciate thumbs ups. The other thing too is we're kind of on the chase now to get to 2,000 subscribers. I don't know if anybody noticed the channel's gone over 1,900 subscribers. So we're on our way to 2,000. It's 1909 right now, so that's pretty neat. I mean, it's crazy how fast we've gained 1,500 subscribers essentially in under a month. So since the 12th of March, the subscribers have gone. And you guys who watch the live streams or watch videos that I upload, thank you very much. It's I just love looking at the statistics. I've got it on the screen on the side here, and it's just you get a little bit fixated on it a bit too much sometimes. So Janez 55, there's Kroshka Katocha in the Crimea. You should go there here, have a Katoshka, then return to Zhenya. It's a bit far to go just for a potato. Katoshka is potato in Russian. I remember watching a guy called, he's a YouTuber called Johnny, is it Tickle? Johnny Tickle. It's like very strange name. I'm not sure if that's his real last name, but pretty sure he's a school teacher and he was living in Crimea at the time, and he actually did a few videos. I've watched a couple of different videos about Crimea and them going there to take holidays there. A lot of people like to go there for holidays. It's like a bit of a Russian thing to go to Crimea. So yeah, there's not a Kroshka Katoshka in the town where we live, literally here. So we have to go to either of the main shopping centers. Now, funny enough, the little shopping center that we have where we live has a KFC, and then they've just extended the shopping center a little bit. They've actually almost doubled the size, and they opened a Burger King up on the 3rd level. It's a very small shopping center, but it's it's 2 levels actually. No, it's 3 levels. The new part's 3 levels. The old part's 2 levels. Sorry. And they've opened a Burger King up on the 3rd level. There's also a it's like somebody's sort of private business that they've set up, which is like a cafe style with pizza as well. So, yeah, I guess I could come all the way there and then come all the way back. I'd love to really just get on the train and come to St. Petersburg. This Sapsan, this bullet train, as they call it, they've got one that goes to St. Petersburg and back. So, 2GIS. I'm not sure what that is. Dimmer. Hey, Russell, I watched your McDonald's video the other day. It appears that the Big Mac in Russia is much bigger than in the USA. Maybe your camera angle I found it interesting. I don't know if is it bigger or not. I don't know. They're always like very messy looking. I had the camera quite far away, so maybe it does look bigger. The way I kind of put it on there was a guy sitting opposite me. He kind of waves. I think it's either before or after. And then what I did, I sort of spun the camera around, and then I didn't go check what my view looked like. And I just asked the guy just to move it further towards him. And then literally after I'd sort of eaten and done the recording of it, I look back and I see that my head was kind of cut off. But I did sort of bend down to get in the camera shot. But I thought he'd kind of positioned me perfectly in the middle, and he kind of didn't. So I guess they're bigger. I don't know. I mean, actually, personally, I prefer to have a Burger King burger in terms of bigger burger to eat than Big Mac meals. I've only really gone to McDonald's in Moscow in 7 months I've been here. In the last few weeks, literally since they announced that they were closing, I'd gone to it a couple of times. The actual Big Mac meal before this 5 weeks ago event was like 180 rubles for a Big Mac, fries, and Coke, like the meal deal, which would be less than $2 for a Big Mac meal. The one that I bought if you watch the video, of course, I showed the receipt briefly. Actually, I've still got the receipt right here because I brought it home with me. And here it was 254 rubles. This is actually the exact receipt from McDonald's that I brought home as a bit of a memento. I've actually got that. And then, believe it or not, if anyone didn't see it before, I brought the fries. Oh, it's the wrong way around. I should have got that as my screenshot, shouldn't I? The fries holder. So, but even at 254 rubles, it's like $2.50 American, or maybe $2.70. The rubles dropped a little bit now. So, Yandex Transport. Yes, I know Yandex very well. Yeah, Yandex Transport. That's the one that you can do the buses on as well. Ming Foster says, love your videos. Thank you, Ming. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy the type of videos that I make. Purvis says, good morning. I pray you're safe. I read that YouTube will be banned in Russia. Will that affect you? I mean, they've talked about this actually for quite a few weeks, and it hasn't happened. I think everybody was a bit more in shock, like when Instagram kind of shut down. Most people in Russia don't really use Facebook. Probably more people use Instagram, or there's another app here called VK, which is similar to Facebook, but it took off as much. Instagram is kind of probably the more bigger platform that a lot of people use here. Basically what they would do if they shut it down is not shut it down. It's basically not going to be openable via normal websites in Russia. So if I use a VPN, like how I access Facebook and Instagram now, Twitter, I could still access YouTube. But if you were to just use your normal, like on my phone, for instance, the app wouldn't work because the YouTube wouldn't work if they shut it down, because I don't have a VPN on my phone. So when I go out, literally, my phone's right here. When I go out, literally, I don't have any access to Facebook, Messenger. So funny enough, okay, that's a bit hard to see. You can't see anything. Yeah, so basically, it's frozen in time. Since the 23rd of March, 16th of March, 13th of March, it's still got messages showing on here. Actually, if I do it a little bit like that on the side, it goes plain. That have basically the last message is sent, and then it's frozen off. So, but on the computer, what I'm using here, I can log in and use it. But if I go out for the day somewhere, and I normally chat while I'm on the bus or send messages, and I can't do that. So, Dima says, let's like the stream. Yeah, if you want to put a thumbs up, you're welcome to. It's always nice. Thumbs ups are free. Subscribing to the channel is free. Actually, there's one new subscriber since we were chatting. So it's gone from 1909 to 1910. So maybe somebody's watching or somebody subscribed. I don't know. So maybe you can get your family's phones and subscribe to the channel. I've watched a few of your uploads. Oh, Rooster. How's it going, Rooster? We watched a few of your video uploads. I'm interested in how the grocery food is holding out. Actually, I was thinking of going tomorrow and filming a walk around of a supermarket. Maybe a different one to the one I always go to. I normally go to Globus, which is the one at Salarevo Shopping Center. I figure I might go to a different one. I mean, I was there yesterday. Oh, no, I didn't go yesterday. I went through the bus station there. I didn't go there yesterday. I didn't go out today. Yes, no, the day before I went to my local one, and everything was there. Actually, when I went to do this last video at the shopping center, and I did the potato review, the food review, I went into the supermarket there to Ashan, and it was actually probably fuller than when I did that previous video. What was the name of the video called? Sorry, I was looking at what the name of it's called. Okay, so the one that says Russian typical supermarket during sanctions 2022. It's got 23,000 views. The one where it's showing the empty shelves and it started. So actually, when I went yesterday, the shop was probably fuller. And that particular shelf is in the ladies section, the one that's from the thumbnail, where all the ladies' products were out. And now they're all back there in stock. So I think, personally, I think the shop looked fuller yesterday than it did a couple of weeks ago, which is a bit strange, right, to say. I mean, I may as well be honest about it. I mean, what I see is what I see. So Janice says, I don't know what it's like being a YouTuber, but I imagine you need to constantly produce new interesting videos, and Crimea is close to the zone, so it might be interesting. Yeah, I don't have any plan of getting close to things happening. I really don't want to take the channel down that path. I mean, of course, for views and millions of views or millions of subscribers, it would be a crazy good thing for, I don't know, the algorithm and things like that. I mean, Crimea is a place to go to. I'd like to visit because I've heard it's like a bit of a tourist mecca for Russians to go to. I mean, I've heard that for quite a lot of years before what's going on at the moment. I think they just recently had there was like a small anniversary, like an 8-year anniversary of the annexing of Crimea, so to speak. So, Bear Bull, how's it going? Good morning. It's still good morning for me, but good afternoon for you guys. Kaylee says that's very cheap for me. McDonald's, depending on what you get here in Canada, it would cost $10 or more. Yes. Yeah, this is actually expensive. 254 rubles this price is higher because it was at the train station. And typically, if you go to the airports or the train stations, you'll always pay more money. That's normal anywhere in the world. But in Russia, it's normal also. I do remember when I flew home once and I went to the Burger King at the airport at Domodedovo, which is the international airport. It has domestic flights as well. But I went to Burger King and I didn't have much rubles left. I literally didn't have a lot of rubles money with me because I didn't really need it knowing I was going home for the short trip. So, and I thought, I'll just sort of buy whatever I wanted. And I'm like, I don't have enough money to even buy like the menu items because the airport prices are so much higher. Yeah, same in Australia. That Big Mac meal would be $10. I mean, if you got the upsize one, if you got the milkshake one, it'd be $12, $15 for a Big Mac meal in Australia. I mean, I think it's even more than $10 now for a Big Mac meal in Australia. Another McDonald's is supposedly still open at the airport, Janice. Yeah, I'd have to go and check that. And then actually, I know there's a Burger King at Domodedovo. I'm not sure if there's a McDonald's. 100% there's a Burger King there. So there is a kind of tiny food court. Tiny. Big, like big for an airport, but I don't remember if there was a McDonald's out there. I'll have to kind of Google it before I kind of plan to go there. It's about an hour and a half to get out to the airport. Probably the better video to make is they've now got a new bus service, like an express bus service that gets you to the airport and back to the city that they've introduced. Because there's a lot of I don't know to say the word, mafia bus services that run to and from the airport. Like the minute you come out the metro at the metro station nearby, there's these bus drivers trying to coax you into those buses to go to the airport. Obviously, you're going to do that, but it's sort of interesting how they kind of, want to catch your business to get you in their bus rather than you waiting for another bus. Or but now there's the Aerospace, which is the train service that's between Moscow and the airports. And then the Aerospace is the one that runs between Moscow and St. Petersburg. So they put a bus service now on, like these luxury coaches, for that kind of it's about 45-minute bus trip out to the airport if you want to take a bus there versus a train. So Rooster says, thank you, take care. Yeah, if you're leaving or you've left or you're still here, very welcome. Rooster says, hi Russell, could you let me know what the shelves are like in your groceries? Love your content. Yeah, I will go and make another grocery store kind of video. The local shops where I live here, I've asked them, even though I know them and they recognize me from coming every other day there, they don't want me to film anything in the shop, which is very strange. I mean, here in Moscow, there's a lot of shops and businesses with like a camera and a cross through it, like you can't record or film inside, which I'm not sure what their main reason is. I mean, of course, it's private property. You know, they have the right to not let you film things. So I will definitely kind of go to a bigger supermarket, probably where they don't sort of tend to check on you, or you know, you can walk around freely with a camera in your hand and they don't say anything. For me, I don't see a big difference in a smaller supermarket and a bigger one price-wise. I mean, you might see something on special in one place and not in the other. The fact that I can kind of go in the elevator downstairs and there's a small convenience store where I live is kind of pretty cool, though. I don't have to go too far to get things. So yeah, Rooster, I will follow up for sure. I think maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday, right? So I have to plan some kind of video to make tomorrow and the next day. So you can install VPN on your phone as well, no problems. Yeah, Janice, I need to do that. My wife, when we were having dinner tonight, we were talking about it for her phone because she wants Instagram to work so badly because she's like always on Instagram. So she has one that's on there, but she doesn't understand the thing that you've got to connect to it for other apps to work, you know. So for it to basically scramble your phone and then, you know, say to your phone that you're in a different location to where it's finding you. News reports indicate food prices have doubled in Russia in recent weeks. Have you seen that? I wouldn't say doubling. I'd say, you know, things like electronics, the router that I bought, I talked about in the last live stream, that had gone double in price. I mean, if you go to the electronics stores, they are saying the prices have gone up between 10 and 30%. Some things are 20 to 40% up. My wife's coffee, she buys coffee pods. She's got a Nespresso, not Nespresso. Not Nespresso, it's another brand. Sorry, I was going to say Nespresso. She's got a coffee pod machine in her salon downstairs, and the price of coffee pods have gone from about 400 rubles to 600. So that's probably what, 20, 30% up. I wouldn't say anything's doubled in price. Things have gone up maybe 10, 20, 30%, which is definitely noticeable. If you're on a sort of fixed salary or fixed income, or you're maybe retired and on a pension, then, you know, it's definitely noticeable. And if you're buying the same staple items all the time, you know, Purvis, I would say for sure it's not doubled. I mean, you know, I mean, some things have gone up because of the fact that they're imported. So especially things that are not from within the Russian country of Russia, or the states, the former Russian countries, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, even a lot of things come from Belarus. So things were coming from Ukraine even. I mean, there's Ukrainian food here. So Janice says, yeah, 1 million on the spot. Seize the moment comes and goes. Equipment with Tor on your phone, it should give you full access to everything. Experiment with TOR on your phone. Okay, I'll have to look up this one. How long have you been in Russia for? Do you speak fluently in the language? I've been on and off here for 9 years. My wife and I, basically since we met quite a lot of years ago now, more than 9 years ago, I guess. 10 years ago, I think. So I've been coming here on and off. I don't speak any fluent Russian. I speak a few words of Russian. I'd say my language is probably 5 or 6% at best. So, which is not the best, but it's okay, you know. So it gets me by. I can go out and do things on my own. I can go to the shops. I can buy things. I can, you know, go and do my own things where I don't have to be with my wife all the time. Anything I get stuck on, I basically just call her if she's at home or at work, and she talks to the person. I literally, okay, so I went and got yogurt for my wife. She sends me to a particular shop to buy yogurt, and I noticed they didn't have the flavor she wants in the fridge. There's a little yogurt lady at the food market here, the Rinnock, and they didn't have her flavor there. So I just literally called my wife, gave the phone to the lady, and that lady helped talk to my wife on the phone and sorted it out which one to get. So yeah, modern homeless accept card payments. Yeah, so it's very normal here. People doing like, actually a lot of buskers on the street here in Moscow. You see buskers everywhere around the world. But there's you know, they always sort of say like me on Instagram or Facebook, and then it's got like their bank's phone number, like your bank account that you've got on your phone on your app. You can deposit money and transfer money via a phone number. So if you want to send it to another person or make a payment to somebody, you send it to a phone number or an account number or BSB number. But all of the buskers here have their phone number on a piece of paper where their little tip jar is, so you can send an electronic tip to them. Gary, how's it going? I again didn't kind of schedule this. I kind of thought of doing this much earlier. I'm not sure if it's a better time or not. So I'd like to see you gorge yourself somewhere nice, like the Black Sea coast or the Caspian Sea coast. Yeah, the Caspian Sea. I'd love to do the train. I've talked about this. My wife doesn't want to do it, but I want to do the Trans-Siberian Railway. I really need to do it with somebody else, obviously somebody who speaks Russian, but another vlogger like Dimmer, if he wants to come along. I've got another friend here. Actually, his name is Dimmer also, and he's a YouTuber also. A lot of Dimmers that are YouTubers. And I figure, you know, I would want to do it with somebody else who wants to do it and would like to enjoy doing it as well, right? So, yeah, to do the trip all the way over to Vladivostok would be very, very, very cool. It's not, Kelly, it's not Keurig. I know Keurig. It's not Nespresso. My mum's got Nespresso in Australia, and I know she buys those pods. It's in a square box. I know that. And it's like a very normal, everyday brand of coffee pod machine. So Jenna said it's really easy to get full access to everything, really, by the way. Did you ever go to Capri in Italy? Yes, I went to Capri. If you're asking about Capri in Italy, maybe you're asking about Capri Sun, the drink. Those pouch drinks, you know, the ones the kids have. Yeah, I did the trip from Rome, not from Rome, from I'm going to get it wrong. No, it was from, you take the high-speed catamaran, don't you? The high-speed ferry over to Capri. I went twice, actually, because the ship was doing the itinerary from Barcelona. So I did it twice over there. So, yeah, so I've definitely been there. I actually really enjoyed it. The one time I went on my own, I literally got off the ship early morning. I asked people the night before, you know, do you want to come along? I'm going to go off at 7 a.m. in the morning so I can get the full day there. And I went over to Capri. It was really nice. Somewhere I could easily go back to Italy. I could go back tomorrow or go back on holiday anytime. And I find it very cultural there. Very, I know you say that funny, right? But it's very Italian when you're in Italy. I know it is, right? And it's so what you think of and what you know, and what you think in your head of the place. It is that. So when the world gets back to normal, would you still like to go in the cruise industry, or are you done with that line of work? Brian, I'm not done with it. I am still planning to go back. I always had the plan of building my YouTube channel. First was to get to 10,000 subscribers. It's stuck on 9,400 now. I've kind of lost a little bit of interest in it, unfortunately, in the last few weeks or month while I've been doing this channel. Yeah, my job is still there for me tomorrow morning if I could fly back to the cruise ships. I'm currently waiting to get my Russian residency visa approved. We put the paperwork in before Christmas, so we're now moving exactly into 4 months worth of that. So yeah, once that approves, then I can make that kind of decision about whether or not I go back from here there, or whether or not we go back to Australia. So don't be shy to press the like button. Yeah, if anyone wants to press the like button, we got it's thumbs up, but do you call it likes or thumbs ups? It's thumbs ups on YouTube. It's really weird. Like, you've got followers, then you've got subscribers, then you've got likes, then you've got thumbs ups. You know what really bothers me, and I'll be very honest, everybody, is the amount of thumbs down that I get on the videos. Of course, the videos I've made are they controversial? Are people not happy with the situation? Do people not like how I made my video, how I filmed it? And if you look at the last one that I did from 2 days ago, it's had nearly is it at 5,000 views now? It's 4,900 and something views. Okay, so, and it's got 224 thumbs up and 11 thumbs down. Of course, everyone's got the right to not like something, and I kind of joke about it sometimes on the end of the video. You can put a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you like. I've not got any 100% video now. The one with the gas prices that had 83 thumbs ups was the last 100% video. And every video I've made since has got some kind of thumbs downs. That's everybody's right. If you don't like this video, you can put a thumbs down. I shouldn't, think badly about it. I'd like to see you. Oh yeah, yeah. It's not Keurig either. It's not. It's not Tassimo. I think Tassimo is a brand, isn't it? I know it's coffee pods, 1,000%. It is really easy to get full access to everything, really, by the way. Okay, we missed. Oh, now I'm all over the place here. You can install Google Translate on your phone, and then you won't need a native speaker. Jen is right. I've got Google Translate, and then also you can do the microphone where you just talk to it, and it does text, voice to speech, text to speech, speech to text. I know with the bus drivers quite often, because the bus drivers recognize me on the local bus here. The Marshrutka is the local buses. And they often ask me questions, what's going on. So must be late. It's 2:50. Yeah, it's 3:20 a.m. here, by the way. So wherever you are in the world, I kind of timed it to be a little bit later in America, earlier morning in Australia. I guess for Europe, it's later in Europe. So maybe UK, I think you can get away with it a little bit, but let me catch up now here a bit faster, go through all of this. Ironwood, how are we going? Easel Cat. These are all lots of regular people here now, so that's kind of nice. Dimmer, of course. Trey Williams says Australia must be far better than Russia, I guess. It's difficult to answer like the question. Yes, everything is better than being in Russia right now. Maybe, of course, being in Ukraine, if you're there or not, or you're from there. I'm having a lot more difficulties here slowly than I did 5 or 6 weeks ago. My bank card's not working. My Visa card's not working. So my easy walk to the shop and pay with my card for something I can't do. I do use my Australian cards here, and then it basically just charges it back in Russian rubles, right? So it's very straightforward, but that's not working. Something, I mean, we just talked about VPN, something as simple as, the apps on my phone don't work because they've blocked a lot of apps on the phone, don't work. So, my wife is slowly coming around to realizing Australia is better than Russia. But, the thing is, where you're born here, you live here, this is your home. She still loves Russia, right? I mean, she still has that love for living here, and I'm here to support her as well. And she's been going through some medical issues that we're sort of working through. So Easel says, how am I doing? I'm doing well. It's a little bit later here, and I kind of decided to do this later just to catch a few more people. Maybe the timing's a bit better. So you're on late today. Yes. Yeah, a little bit later, just to see if it works better with the timing. I guess not everybody in the world it will work out. So do you know if professional sport is... Oh, Dilly, how's it going? Dilly is my nephew, by the way. It's Dilly. He was the second subscriber on this channel. So do you know if professional sport in Russia has slowed down, or is it normal as before all this? The football is definitely on. That's pretty much the only one that I kind of noticed. Actually, there was a game today in Moscow that I could have gone to, but I was watching the AFL, the Australian football, when you were watching it this afternoon as well. It was morning time for me here, but all Russian sport inside the country is working. So ice hockey, football for sure. I'm not sure if it's basketball season now, so I guess it is, and volleyball. They do a lot of indoor sports in wintertime here. So I know for sure anything. And actually, we watched on the TV this afternoon. I put the TV on for half an hour and I went to lay down, and they had biathlon skiing, where they do the cross-country skiing and they do the shooting. And that was the Russian Championships was on the TV. So evening here in Los Angeles. Oh, you're in LA? I think we already talked about this in other live streams, and I'm not good to remember. Hey, Russell, are there any sandwich shops out there like Subway or Quiznos, or are there any pizza places like Pizza Hut? Actually, in the video I did yesterday, and I just realized at the end, after I'd kind of filmed all the pieces, that in that food court, there is actually a Subway there in that food court. And it's weirdly kind of in the middle of a seating area, which you wouldn't notice when you walk around. And I know it's there, and I just missed it when I did the video. But the Subway is open. I don't think I've even had Russian Subway before. I don't think I've ever gone and had Subway, because Pizza Hut, they actually have also Domino's here, and then there's another American pizza brand here as well. But yeah, they're all open. Yes, Subway definitely is working. Lauren, oh, thanks. Glad you watched the Qantas ad. Yeah, we watched it with my wife this afternoon. And then she came over to hug me and everything. So I was got goosebumps from watching it. I've known that song for quite a long time, and when you go on Qantas flights, they have that music playing, and my wife recognized Kylie Minogue, and Ash Barty was in it as well. So Innovatech, how's it going? Good to see you in the live stream as well. 5:20 p.m. Guess where? 5:20 p.m. Bimjim, are you in Australia? And I need to write everybody's name down on a bit of paper on the side here to remember where you're all from. Because 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 a.m. is Perth. 11 a.m. Are you in New Zealand? You must be in New Zealand, Bimjim, I think, if it's 5 p.m. Unless it's West Coast of America or Hawaii. I guess I'm getting way off. 3:26 a.m. Kaylee it is now. So, maybe Bimjim, you're in Canada then. Maybe Kaylee's got it right underneath there. LA, but it's warm. Yeah, it's -5 outside right now. Just thought I'd show you that here. So 27 inside in the kitchen, which is a little bit warmer than normal. I didn't have the window open for a few hours. That's Celsius, by the way. Lauren Sutherland is radical. Lauren, yeah, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8:30. Oh, 2 hours. Yeah, you guys have got that crazy difference, haven't you? Like hour and a half, 2 hours and a half difference with Adelaide from Perth. So Janice says many people are disillusioned with Australia. It's different. It's a different way of life. They project one thing, but the truth is something else. That's why Soviet TV liked to film homeless camps in the USA. Yeah, it's, look, Australia, prices have gone up in Australia. The cost of living's gone up in Australia. The cost of petrol's gone up. I mean, you are paid better in Australia than you would be in Russia if you were to compare dollar for dollar. I mean, would you say we've got a better lifestyle, better way of life in Australia? I mean, you could say that because of the weather. Maybe our healthcare system, our Australian healthcare system is better. I mean, they still have a perfectly good healthcare system here. You've got public hospitals, private hospitals, public clinics, private clinics here. I mean, cost of pharmaceutical goods here is considerably cheaper. Australia is not cheap to live. I mean, by a long way. I mean, it'd be bordering on some of the price in some of the European cities now than what it was years ago. I mean, we can all say we live by the beach. It's all roses and beautiful, but you've still got to go to work. You've still got to work hard for what you earn. I mean, it is cheaper to live here. Obviously, the salaries are less here. I mean, I'm not living the high life here myself. You know what I mean? I'm living day to day. You know what I mean? We're doing okay. We're not doing great or better and fantastic, but Angry Man says, "Are you from the UK?" I was born in the UK. We moved to Australia when I was 8 years old. My parents emigrated to give my I've got a sister, by the way. Dale is my sister's son. It's Dilly is my sister's son. When I was 8 years old, she was a couple of years older than me, to give us a better chance at life, if you like, by moving from the UK to England to Australia. Ironwood says, "I love Russians, just not Russia right now because of stuff and stuff. Sorry, cannot talk about it. Gives me bad feelings." Ironwood, I completely understand. I'd say I completely agree, or I understand what you're thinking and what you're saying in your head. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people here who don't like what's happening and what's happened and how it's happened. You know, they don't believe that it was going to happen. I can say that in a few words like that. So, Dima says, "Marshrutka drivers in Russia are crazy guys from Central Asia. It's blowing my mind how multitasking they are, taking money, driving, opening doors, always talking on a phone." True. Dima, it's very true. Yeah, the marshrutka is basically like the small, in America, they call them short buses. We don't really have them in Australia, really, the short bus style buses. But they're more like a people mover or people carrier bus. And the guy he's always on the phone talking to his wife. He's either on a call or he's doing like voice messages on WhatsApp. Yeah, they're always doing everything but driving the bus. It's very true. Have a second YouTube channel just switched over and subscribe to your channel so you have one more subscriber. Oh, I'm getting behind looking. Oh, 1911. Yeah, this is like a subathon. 1911 is the live count. It's probably a little bit behind. Oh no, it's definitely 1911. Thank you, Brian. Brian Vader. I wonder if you know Darth. Do you know Darth? I'm sure you get that joke all the time, Darth. Sorry. I don't like any of them no more. I guess maybe you're talking about Russians. I'm not sure if we're just following the chat and I'm a little bit behind. So yeah, Bim Jim's in Canada. There we go. Georgia has great wine and food. Great place. Are you talking about Georgia, like as in the country in Europe where I am here, or Eastern Europe? or Georgia in America, like Georgia Bulldogs, Georgia. We put our clocks back an hour on the weekend. Oh, Lauren, right. So that's why you've got the time difference. Yeah, it's always confusing. Like in Australia, how we don't have like the 2 or 3 hour time difference with the eastern states, and then Adelaide has that extra half an hour difference. So, I've only had a little. Russell, besides YouTube, do you have a regular job during the day? Is it James or John? James, I think it is, right? I don't have a regular job besides YouTube. No. Until I get Russian residency, I can't sort of legally work here if I was to get a job here. So no, I am relying on the money from YouTube. And then my wife, obviously, she runs her own nail salon. So we take basically my money and her money and put it in a pile together, so to speak, and make do. She always says, like her money is her money and my money is her money. So, and we even had that discussion today again, because we talked about, maybe doing some renovations in her salon and changing the wallpaper in there. And for us to figure out how to pay for it and do some, it needs a new client chair for her nail salon tables, we just joked about it as well. We'd normally go to IKEA to buy small furniture like that for the for our apartment or for the nail salon. And I'm like, where can we go now? There's nowhere left in Russia to go buy anything now that IKEA's closed. IKEA in Russia was like the perfect store for Russians who live in apartments or sort of buildings like this. Because how you go in IKEA, they've got them little pre-made apartment bedrooms and kitchens and stuff, and that's exactly what suits Russian apartments. Everybody, so yeah, I haven't been overseas, but I love Australia. Bushfires and floods are horrendous, though. Yeah, that's a horrible thing going on right now. I mean, the flooding over the eastern states. Then you've got Scott Morrison on the news, donating all sorts of millions of dollars to, relief over here. I mean, of course, being part of alliances, Australia is kind of committed to helping other countries in need. But there's, the issue with all the flooding over the eastern states. Even in WA last year, they had bushfires in different places as well. And it's not pretty. And then they kind of giving you, people affected by it can get a $500 or $1,000, grant from the government or something. I mean, it's not enough to fix your house and give you somewhere to live, a few $100, Peter, yeah, Innova, it's Peter, sorry. What did I say, James or John? Peter. Sorry. And you had sushi as well. Yeah, I actually, I've still got another piece left. I have some kind of Russian pizza that I had for dinner. My wife went to the local shop or the local market. We got two local markets here. One that's by the train station and one that's by the highway. So we call it Kiev Highway is literally the main highway where we live. And there's a food market there because we call it Kiev Highway Shops. And this one we call train station shops. And she went and got some pizza slices. It's actually a bread making guy. He has he bakes his own bread in this little shop in there. And then he has homemade pizza, which is very, 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 very nice. It's actually better than the 24-hour pizza place we've got in our town. Yeah, so sushi sounds good. I didn't really feel like sushi today at all, and we sometimes lazy and get sushi also. Watching from Chicago suburbs right now. It's 7:30 p.m. here. Yeah, it's kind of more ideal time for America, Australia, not so good time for Europe. So, is YouTube enough to live? What inspired you to become a YouTuber? YouTube isn't enough to live off. Of course, I've had a few people that do super chats and super stickers. That kind of adds up a little bit more and helps out. Basically, this channel has obviously only just started with a little bit of monetization. The cruise channel is not doing very well. To be very, very honest, it's not doing very well because I'm not posting enough stuff over there. You need to keep making content, to keep getting ads showing, to keep making money from it. It's not enough to live off right now. I need to do much, 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 much better to make enough money to be happy. It's what inspired you to become a YouTuber. Now, this is something I should have done 10 or 15 years ago. I can very easily talk on camera. I can very easily talk in front of people working on cruise ships, selling to an audience in the shops that I was working. I can get up on stage with a microphone and host bingo. So it's very easy to kind of switch the camera on and just film things. Really is very easy. One of the ships I was on a few years ago, I did a few like tours inside the ship, like filming them and then putting them on YouTube. And I realized that it was kind of successful, if you like. I mean, this is 20 years working on ships, and I was only doing it the last 2 or so, maybe 3 years maximum. I've been doing this. And even the videos on this channel are only 6 months or the 7 months that I've been here. I should have been doing YouTube a long time before I'm doing it now, which is a bit of a shame on me, really. Is YouTube enough to live off? For smaller YouTubers, it's not. For bigger YouTubers, I'm sure it is. But then they have more costs involved in doing YouTube. And Oliver, how's it going? Etolani B was asking the previous question. So Etolani, Oliver says, did you pay your tax in the US? Working on cruise ships, the company I work for wasn't based in the US. That's a whole thing around cruise ships, that they're not flagged in the US. The company is based in Florida, but I think it's registered in the Bahamas, I believe. So technically, you don't pay tax on your earnings. If you work on the cruise ships and you're American, you do. And I believe even for Canadians, they have to as well. But that's pretty much why they employ no Americans on cruise ships. It's all crew members from Indonesia, Philippines, India, all sorts of countries. There's about 50 countries of crew on most cruise ships. I know for the YouTube AdSense, when you register the account, you have to fill in a tax form. I don't know what it is, some sort of tax form. And I know a tax percentage is taken out from the payment every month. So I guess because it's not a US YouTube channel, I guess there's some sort of overseas tax penalty that they charge you. Having lived in Australia, how difficult was it to deal with the cold weather when you moved to Russia? I was okay with it, Brian. I knew that it was going to be cold. It's, minus 10, minus 20. Actually, on that little thing here, I was showing my dad this the other day. So when you press this, that's minus 5 outside. I've got this back to front. So the coldest we've had out on the window ledge is minus 22.9. Actually, the coldest has been in the kitchen is 13 degrees. So, you wear extra jacket. Every time I go out, I wear a scarf. I've never wear a scarf in my life, apart from going to the football. Wear a scarf every time I go out here. I've got gloves or mittens, if you want to call them that. So, I can adjust to anything, and I don't really complain about it. I probably should be more outspoken that I don't like this, I don't like that. This is not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I've got to show a bit more compassion for, harder times. In Australia, we had like 40-degree days, 40 Celsius plus. I'm not one to complain, probably, enough vocally. So, and I kind of just deal with it. My wife is always, you say no worries all the time. Australians say no worries. Yeah, no worries, And that's how Australians are, right? We kind of, say that. And she says, you keep saying no worries. It's minus 22 outside and you're saying no worries. But what can I do? I can't make the sun shine and it'd be warmer. So, Etoleni says she discovered it from Konstantine's channel. Were you real life friends? We are real life friends. Yes, I've actually met him a few times. We live about 15 minutes by car away from each other, which is very close in Russia. He's a super nice guy. I've not met his wife and kids. We've met basically just he and I each time we meet up. I've actually been to the kind of area where he lives and where his apartment is. We had coffee there at the local coffee shop where he lives. We meet up at the shopping center where we both can easily get to as well. So yeah, Constantine, I know, very nice guy. I can't say enough about him and his knowledge and mind and what he knows and speaks about. So yeah, thank you that you've come over here from that channel. 1911 subscribers. We're a long way from 2000. So now I've got lots of stuff. Hachapuri looks so good. Yeah, this is not Hachapuri. I did show it in the video when I did the food court tour. I should probably do that as a food test, as a food review in the next video. When I do a supermarket thing, I'll get a hachapuri. It's like a bread bowl with a egg and cheese, or egg and cheese, or bacon and things in it. Hachapuri is very nice. I really like them. My wife always wonders, you like that? You like this? You like that? Yeah, I do. By the way, in St. Petersburg, we have a few good restaurants, which makes a perfect hachapuri, a natural wine. Tastes like juice. Yeah, the compote or wine. But yeah, hachapuri. Better late, never. Thank you. Appreciate to discover your Russian perspective from Quebec. Do you think you will be able to work on cruise ships again? Absolutely can. Yes, I got no question that I can just get on a plane and fly to America or fly to wherever the cruise ship would be. My company keeps emailing me, and I've got very good rapport with them over the 20 years. They, not to be kind of big-headed or anything, they really love me as an employee and my ability to work and jump on a cruise ship and do what the job I need to do without questioning and teaching and training and things like that. So, yeah. So, I mean, will there be kind of actually one thing that is a possibility of something is will they think about me, not me, but the fact that I've flown in and out of Russia to come to the cruise ships? What's your reason for living there? Maybe at customs they might customs or immigration when you fly in. Where have you been? What are you doing there? They may question that. But I hope that's not a part of me traveling. I really don't think it would be. Yeah, no, Moscow has some good restaurants. I watch Inside Russia. Find one back in the day on a live stream. Yeah, Konstantin was doing like Saturday or Sunday live streams where he'd go into Moscow and then he'd go into like restaurants or cafes and sit the camera up and everything. And we talked about sort of me coming to meet him at one of these, and it never came about because all this sort of went a bit cuckoo, how many weeks ago now. So, Russian weather feels a bit warmer than Canada as we still have a lot of snow. It snowed. Actually, today it hadn't snowed. Today's finished now already. It's Monday morning, early morning. But Saturday, that day when I filmed the previous video, it snowed all day. And actually, when I left at the end from the bus, after you see the ending of that part, I went back inside just to go to the supermarket and came back out again. And it was snowing even harder. And then I got back to the other bus station to get the bus home. And the bus on the way home, he was doing like 50 kilometers an hour, maybe 40 on the highway, which is Kiev highway, where they're normally doing 100 plus if they want to do that. And the driver was like super cautious because it was just bucketing down with snow yesterday when I came home. Yeah, we probably had 20 centimeters, I reckon, in the previous day and a half. So US government started posting a list of companies still conducting business with Russia, and still this is my business channel under my company name. Yeah, I did see that there's quite a few still conducting business with Russia, and since this is my business channel under my company name, yeah, I did notice that there's a lot of news websites and online news talks about all the companies that are still trading with Russia. There's a lot of French companies, and I mean it's their decision, right? I mean the problem you've got is you've got people in those countries that are trying to put pressure on those companies to close down and cease all trade with Russia. But some countries don't want to do that and don't choose to do that. That's their thing. I mean, it doesn't worry me really either way. So, yeah, we just had snow in Moscow. Yeah, yesterday. Well, it didn't snow at all today. So pretty much when I woke up, I'd been at home all day today. I didn't even go out the house. It hasn't snowed a single snowflake today. But yesterday until late last night, so going into Saturday night, it was snowing the entire Saturday. And then for about 2 days before that, it was on and off snowing. So, and I don't want to wind up on that list. I can't do any super chats at them. Oh, you can't. I can't do. Oh, Invitec. I understand. I mean, you can't do any super chats at the moment. I understand. I mean, that's. I think. The how am I going to explain it? Like they're saying there, why hasn't Burger King shut down? Actually, on the video there, I showed Gap open, and Banana Republic, and they're kind of in America. They're a little bit outspoken kind of brands. They're very iconic brands in America. Why are they still open? I mean, I understand the whole franchise thing. Why is Lego still trading? All the Lego stores are still open. Why is every Western brand not just shut down and gone? I mean, that's their choice. You know what I mean? There's a lot of businesses that have done business with Russia for tens of years, and then now they've decided just to literally walk away overnight in whatever decision they've made. I mean, there's a lot of companies going to lose a ton of money from walking away, and then down the line, then the supply chain is going to cause problems at the other end where they're not importing or exporting goods in and out of Russia, and countries, relied on Russia for whatever product. So, Ironwood says yes. Review Hachaburi. I don't know how you say it. Hachaburi. That would be fun. Yes. It seems to melt pretty fast. Yeah, here the snow banks are pretty high. Yeah, I guess if we get a couple, it wasn't sunny. It was cloudy all day today, so there wasn't warm weather. It pretty much sat at about -3 to 0, and now it's gone down colder overnight. So, hope you will be able to. Hope you'll be able to get back to Australia. I think it feels like you miss it. I don't miss Australia in terms of like my love for Australia. You know what I mean? I know having worked on cruise ships for 20 years and being predominantly out of Australia for the last 20 years, really have been. And maybe the last year and a half with COVID when I came home, I was there. I mean, did it renew my love for Australia? But I don't think so. I mean, I know I can get on a plane and fly home tomorrow morning if I wanted to. And I could fly back here the day after if I wanted to. I don't have that real, I miss this, I miss that, I miss the other. I mean, I miss my parents. I've been able just to ask them simple questions and, feedback from them something about life and what should I do, what shouldn't I do with, life. I don't really miss anything that much that I want to get on the plane tomorrow to go back there. I mean, I think everyone's sentimental to where they're from and where they live. And, there's always that, in your heart. You know what I mean? Like everything sporting wise, I always look, what's Australia doing? What's that golfer doing? What's that cricketer doing? What's that tennis player doing? And if we lose, I mean, it's like I lost as well, you know, or if they win, you know, yeah, I miss it, but not really. I mean, I'm not missing enough things that I want to get on the plane to go home because I should, you know. You have what we call in America a very cool accent, Stephen Stapleton, I think it is. Americans are in love with the British and Australian accents. Yeah, from cruise ships, I notice that a lot, and I get questioned about it a lot as well, and why it's not Australian enough. Yeah, no worries. You know, let's go and see a kangaroo and go and have a barbie and things like that. I don't talk enough Australian. Even here, I talk a lot more English or British because it's easier for people to understand me if I'm more if I pronounce words better and clearer. If I start doing Aussie slang words, then people really won't understand the meaning of things. So, thanks, Chris. Yeah. It's crazy. I think it is in the most extreme. I think it is the most extreme temperature change in the world. Oh, you're talking about the Canadian weather and things like that. You guys in America, the northern parts of America there, you guys have really like minus this. I mean, they say Russia. I mean, you gotta remember Russia is a huge country. So, I mean, places like Moscow, it doesn't get cold like some of the eastern parts of Russia, the northern parts of Russia, you know, where it's constantly minus 30, minus 40, and sometimes, you know. Do you miss the sea? I miss cruise ships. It was a massive part of my life. 20 years of my life. I mean, day in, day out, 24 hours a day. That was probably the hardest thing when COVID happened. And I mean, I don't miss, you know, working on cruise ships becomes a career, and you become institutionalized. I'll say that wholeheartedly after 5 or 10 years, probably 5 years at least working on ships. You know, I miss working on cruise ships. I miss the lifestyle, you know, the job. I miss doing my job on cruise ships. When I came home, I was lucky to go work in supermarkets. And actually, I worked in some liquor stores, petrol stations, doing merchandising. And it was, you know, something similar to what I was doing on cruise ships. So, Janice, yeah, I do miss ships. Albrecht, 49.99 super chat. Thank you very much. I hope I'm not getting busted. This is my personal YouTube. Keep your fingers crossed, Peter. Yeah, Albrecht, thank you very much for the super chat. It's very, very appreciated. Yeah, we are planning to take. I am planning to take my wife out. I guess technically, if I look at the way the money comes in, it's like a month delayed. I owe her the next lunch out anyway, or dinner out. So essentially, the money goes to her. It's not really going to me. So, I mean, I go out, and you can see there from the video yesterday, I spent, you know, $2 on lunch. I think I ended up paying more for the bus than I did for lunch. So, and at the supermarket, I bought. I've eaten one of them. The wrapper's wrapped up. Sorry. I went and got like the Milky Ways for my wife. That's her favorite chocolate right now. And these are the British Milky Ways, or the Canadian Milky Ways. I think if Canada has the same one. In America, Milky Way is more like a Snickers. But this is the one that's light and fluffy inside. So thank you, Albrecht. It'll goes a long way, the super chats. There was another question that I had here. Yeah, business decisions are not always about money, A+ Russian. That's true. Yeah, the companies, I guess, have taken that stance to pull out of Russia for that reason. You know, I mean, a lot of companies will lose a lot of millions and millions and millions of dollars. I mean, they make a lot of money as well, but they'll also lose quite an amount of money. Did someone talk about airplanes somewhere? Did I miss that message? No. Oh, maybe this will work, Russell. Yes, I think you sort of mentioned you've sent it, and then it'll show up. So yeah, the one thing with my YouTube account, I've mentioned this before because it's been asked multiple times. So my channel is based in Australia. It's not based in Russia. So any super chats or super stickers come to my YouTube account via Google, and then it goes into my Australian bank account. Obviously, my cards don't work here, so that's then another story that we've found a lady in Perth whose husband has a business here. So I can basically transfer that $49.99 to her from my Australian account to her Australian account. Then her husband in Russia here can put it in my wife's account. That makes sense. So is the airspace completely open between Australia and Russia? A+. So the airspace over Russia is open. I know over Ukraine it's actually open. They've talked about this in news, right? So in and out of Russia, you can fly Qatar Airways, Emirates Airways, Turkish Airlines. So I could fly with Qatar or to Doha or Emirates to Dubai, and then on to Australia. So that's completely possible tomorrow morning in theory if I wanted to do that. Yeah, it's the airspace that's all open. I mean, there's definitely international flights leaving in and out of Russia daily. I know that for sure because we've looked into that. We've sort of followed up on it. Our option by train would be to go to St. Petersburg and then on to Finland. They did say that they were stopping these trains, but I believe they're still running. So there would be a way to go from St. Petersburg even to other European countries because that's still possible if we had to do that. So on my iPhone, I have it speaking in Australian whenever I ask Siri a question. Yeah, there's another option. I think on people's navigators on their cars, they can use the Australian accent on their navigators also. I think my wife told me about that. Oh, no, my wife's friend here in Russia told us about it, that you can put the Australian person to do the navigator as well. Brian says, over your 20 years working on cruise ships, I imagine that there's has been a favorite that you were on. If so, what would it be? The grandness and of size of some of them is incredible. Yes, especially now, the newest one, the Wonder of the Seas. It's the biggest ship in the world currently. I was on Carnival Horizon only 3 years ago, which I did the inaugural cruises out of Barcelona. I went to the shipyard in Italy. We brought the ship out brand new. And then we did Mediterranean. Then we did the crossing to New York, down to Miami. That was a very, very cool because I hadn't done Mediterranean before. So to go to all the Italian ports, Spanish ports, Portugal. We went to Greece. That was very, very, very cool. And also to go to other Italian stops in Italy, which wasn't where the shipyards were. So quite a few years ago, I was on Norwegian Crown and Norwegian Majesty out of Boston and New York going to Bermuda. And we were doing 7-day cruises where you have a day at sea. You're in Bermuda for 3 overnights, overnight. And then you do 1 day at sea back. That was very cool, being in Bermuda for all that time. We practically lived in Bermuda, and then we just sailed back and forward to New York or Boston. I'd say that itinerary probably is up there as well. I mean, to choose which one I love, I did Hawaiian season as well, where you sail from Honolulu, Hawaiian Islands. We were doing 10-day cruises around the Hawaiian Islands, down to Fanning Island, Kiribati. That was the stop they made on that itinerary on the 10-day cruises. It's kind of tough which one I'd like the most. Every cruise ship, it really also is a lot factored into who you're working with. So the ship's management and other crew who make working and living on a ship much easier. I mean, the guests and the passengers are who they are. They change every week, 3 or 4 day cruising, 7-day cruising. So, Albrecht, are you Peter also with a different account, or do you know each other? I wonder. Because you're mentioning. Oh, maybe that's your personal account, I think. Is that what you've done? You've logged into your other account, I think. Maybe you're the same person, I think. Old sailors tend to miss the sea, Jen, is very true. I think any crew member who's probably done at least a couple of years minimum on cruise ships. I mean, if you do 1 contract or 2 contracts and then you don't go back, a lot of entertainment, cruise staff do that. Mostly a lot of American and Canadians who do it as a seasonal thing. Then they go home and then they talk about cruise ships for years later, like they were on there for 10 or 20 years and they maybe only did 6 months or 12 months or maybe 1 or 2 contracts. And yeah, very true. Old sailors. Yeah, I think any crew member that's done 5 or 10 years plus, it's in their blood and it will be forever. I think that goes for fishermen, people in the Navy, cruise ships, all sorts like that. So yeah, A plus. So there's Albrecht and someone else mentioned earlier up in the chat there that a lot of people are worried about even doing like a super chat with somebody that's in Russia, because possibly it's been looked at or tracked or checked, or I'm not sure. But I don't think I know not that's not the case. But have you watched Vesna in the Hay? He shows the more remote Russian areas. I did actually the last couple of days. I don't know what video I watched of theirs. Vesna in the Hay. I'm just going to go to my other screen here because I watched one of the videos and I'd never seen them before. Vesna. Is it, how do you spell it? Vesya. Vesna in the Hay. I watched something from Vesnia. Vesya. Yeah, I have watched the channel, but maybe 1 or 2 videos. That's all. And I've never seen them before. Magically now I see more Ukrainian and Russian YouTubers and vloggers and bloggers than I ever saw ever. Pretty much I only ever knew Bald and Bankrupt before the last few years. And that was it. Oh, Peter Olbrach is, oh, thank you. So yeah, thank you, Peter. Thank you. Yeah, I don't remember which Vesna in the Hay video I watched, but I did see one. In America, it might be Three Musketeers. Oh, yeah, Three Musketeers. Yes, Chris, you're correct. Yeah, Three Musketeers is the same as Milky Way here, or in Europe, Milky Way. Right, because on the cruise ship, we have Three Musketeers in the shops. Yeah, your Canadian Milky Way. Yeah, or Australian. It's the same one in Australia, in America, here in Russia. It's much tastier. The one here, I think the Three Musketeers is it made by Hershey? So it's basically the American. It's much sweeter, the chocolate Hershey, and I don't like Hershey chocolate at all. I'm very sorry. Yeah, the one I'm actually, that was the picture that I just held up. That's the chocolate I'm eating right now is Alpine Gold, which is not really the fancy brand. This is 42 rubles, so it's 50 cents for a bar of chocolate. That's a fairly average. I don't even know how many grams it is. 25th anniversary they're celebrating right now. It's about between 40 to, it's like 42, 44 rubles for a bar of chocolate. Yeah, that's my current downfall, is this 40 ruble chocolate. So I don't need the 100 ruble one. Yeah, now the I was eating a lot of Milka. There's a Milka one with banana, Milka bubbly with banana, and it's the best Milka chocolate with banana ever. They make one with coconut, they make all sorts, but the Milka price has gone up crazy. It's like 120, 150 rubles. And you could find it like for 59, 69 rubles, 79 rubles. And it's like nowhere now under 100 rubles anywhere. So I guess that's doubled in price. You're talking about prices going up that much. I have the Australian person doing the navigation, and instead of saying parking lot, they say car park. Yes. Yeah, car park. Yeah, there's an Australian guy called Billy Birmingham. He's a guy that does impersonations of sports stars and sports commentary, and he always makes fun of like Full Car Park is the Korean table tennis player. Full Car Park. You know how that's their names. Sorry if you're from Asian background or culture. So, how is your Asian coming along? How is your Russian coming along? Asking for a friend that teaches it on YouTube. Oh, A plus. It's not coming along really. It's it's malenki. Or if it's smaller than malenki, it's chut-chut, which is like really small. I'm okay not knowing more Russian. I would like to know more. I'd like to be able to speak to somebody, or have us answer questions. Every time I show my nails, it shows my nails not very clean. I'm very sorry, and I talk with my hands like Italian. So every time I show my hands, I'm sorry to show my dirty nails. Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, it's not enough Russian. And considering the amount of years I've been here on and off, 9 years, I should be conversation Russian at this point. And that's I don't know. And I sit in front of the computer too much, and I could learn more, and I'm not. And my wife now is getting, she did her first English lesson a couple of days ago. She had a client come to her salon who's an English teacher and lives in the next building from us. And my wife went maybe 2 days ago to her first English lesson with her. And she had to go print out some worksheets to go through. She has to read some like small stories on these worksheets. Milky Way consists of a nougat layer on the bar, which is topped with caramel, while Three Musketeers includes a fluffy nougat center with dark chocolate on it. Yeah, right. So Three Musketeers has that darker chocolate. It's very similar though, very close, but it's not close. So how about Lindt 90 chocolate? I only like the Lindt red balls, the ones in the wrappers. You can get Lindt chocolate bars still at the supermarkets here, but the price has gone up as well a lot. But the Lindt chocolate shops at the shopping centers are all closed. So I assume there's no Lindt manufacturing in Russia. Those Lindt chocolate balls. My wife prefers the white chocolates. It's not Ferrero Rocher. The other one that's Italian the white chocolate balls. But Lindt, only the red ones I like. No other color. I guess enough people speak English in Moscow for you to get around without a problem. Not really. To be very honest, in the town where I am here, you would struggle to find anyone that could say a few words in English. Occasionally, when I catch the bus, like the marshrutka from Salarevo home, the local marshrutka bus, they hear me just saying hello to the driver or excuse me when I'm passing in the aisle to sit down. And you can see someone turn their head so they understand English, but generally they don't. Even in Moscow, most people don't speak English. Actually, when I did the McDonald's video there, honestly, I would say that, even I mentioned it in the video, that's the most amount of people speaking English I've met in one place in the 7 months I've been here this trip. It's a lot more students and younger people who, spoke conversation English. And that's the kind of person I like to meet here as well, because I can ask them, normal questions, and I don't feel afraid to ask them something because, I really want to know like something, particular about it. So, I wouldn't say enough people speak English, even in Moscow. I mean, I'm sure there is more people, but I just don't interact with them or meet them in my passings with people. You know what I mean? Lindt is outstanding chocolate, says Chris. Yes, but in Canada, but Canada has the Macintosh bar, which is the best. I don't know the Macintosh bar. I have to. Macintosh chocolate Canada. Oh, Macintoshes. There we go. Oh, that looks all right. Looks like chocolate, but I never knew that from when I was in Canada. Oh, Macintosh's Quality Streets. Is that the same brand? They make Quality Streets in Canada. They make all sorts of stuff. I don't remember ever seeing Macintoshes when I was there, on the cruise ships in Canada. So, Katoshka Prada. Well, you're doing a few Russian words here. Pivo, which is beer. Pravda, I don't know what that is. Katoshka, Lada, Nazdrovya. Nazdrovya, right. Cheers. They don't really say Nazdrovya here. Like, it's more like a Polish word to me than a Russian word. They don't really have a word for cheers in Russian. What do you miss most about Australia? Red Rooster. If you're from Australia, you'd know it. I'm not a big chicken treat fan, but Red Rooster is barbecue chicken takeaway. Actually, about 5 days ago, my wife suggested that I go get a whole chicken at the supermarket. And I brought a whole chicken home, a whole chook. We call them chooks. And and we had barbecue chicken. And what do we have with it? I don't know. Oh, some salad. My wife made a salad. We have salad almost every day here. It's like normal to have salad, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner almost. Like some cucumbers, tomatoes, a little bit of not lettuce, but like rocket or things like that. That's what I miss the most. Okay, I can say my parents, my mum, my dad, going around to my sister's place. Like today, Sunday, I'd go around there, watch the football. They've got the TV outside under their patio. Sit with my sister's husband, Graham, and talk to him, chat to him and their sons. I can say that because, I think everybody misses their family, right? They just don't sometimes admit it enough. But Red Rooster, chicken and chips, quarter chicken and chips. If you're Australian watching this, you'll know. You may not love it, but I do. So I might have missed it. But what do you do on the cruise ships? Lisa Bristow. Do you know Eric Bristow? Famous dart player. I worked in the shops on board, in the duty-free shops on cruise ships. They've got very similar to the airport style shops where you've got the liquor, tobacco, chocolates, perfume, jewelry, watches, sunglasses, handbags. So I'm a liquor specialist. Actually, that's on my name badge. Russell, Liquor Specialist, Australia. And selling liquor and understanding and knowing about, anything alcohol-wise, vodka, rum, whiskey, gin, whatever, cognac. That's what I know, basically, for 20 years working on ships. Lindt and Milka are German chocolate. Oh, I didn't know that. I should have known that, shouldn't I? That's very bad of me not to know that. Katoshka does have an R in it, though, I guess. When you come to San Francisco, Russell, you need to try candy, some of the best chocolates in the US, and it's only available on the West Coast. You guys have is that San Francisco? No, Las Vegas. There's a chocolate out in Las Vegas. Oh, Afl chocolate in Las Vegas as well. That's another chocolate that I really like. Was there another San Francisco candy company or chocolate company? Yeah, I'll come to visit you if I come to San Francisco. You know that, right? There's no question I'm coming to your house. Or you're coming, we're going to meet up for lunch or whatever. I don't know. Russian students usually study English. They do, but I guess they just don't have enough people to talk to continue on what they've learned in school. Even when I catch the elevator to our house here, and there's always sometimes somebody sharing the elevator, and they've got little kids, and you can see the kids, they know English because they're learning it, but they just don't speak it enough to know more of it or feel confident to speak a little bit of English, Yeah, it's Samuel says, yeah, I'm a liquorist. Yeah, it is basically a sales associate on cruise ships. Yeah, that's pretty much the standard job title. So there's shop manager, assistant shop manager, or sales assistant, sales associate. Generally, they put sales now on the name badge, not even sales associate, which sounds more correct. But I was luckily, I think I'm the only one in the company that has liquor specialist, because it's not actually a position officially on cruise ships. And the cruise lines dictate what the name badge job title says, not our company. So I was able to get that name badge quite a lot of years ago, and I've had it to this day. So we do say it, but it's Zorovia. Oh, okay, Zorovia. When drinking. Oh, yes. Oh, I can't pronounce this. A+. I'm sorry. When drinking alcohol. Macintosh in the box package is toffee, but very good toffee. Same size as a candy bar. Yeah, I'm looking at the Google images of this Macintosh's brand. So, but there's also like Macintosh's Quality Streets, there's a British version of Quality Streets as well. Marusrudka and the others before that, all I knew in Russian Pravda was the official newspaper in USSR. Oh, there we go. I didn't know that. I should know more, shouldn't I? I should be able to quote things that you guys are already saying to me back. A+, and she knew Agent Sydney Bristow from Alias. I never watched Alias. Yeah, Eric Bristow is probably the most famous dart player probably in history of darts. He's probably from the 70s and 80s. Not really very well known now by anybody that's young. So Chris says, yeah, with your wife's profession, both of you could work on cruise ship. Yeah, she could work in the spa tomorrow morning. Literally, she could get a job on there. It's just a matter of going through the process of her applying, her getting a job. The toughest thing would be for her to get a US visa right now, because the embassy here is not open to visa applications in Russia right now. So no Russians can get an American visa. You'd have to go to Poland to the embassy, to the US embassy in Poland, should she want to get a US visa. So it's not simple at the moment, but yes, she could. Thank you, Samuel. Ghirardelli. Yes, I know Ghirardelli very well. This is another chocolate, American chocolate that I love. Probably considered the best, let's say, milk chocolate. If I was to compare it with Cadbury's British dairy, milk chocolate, or Lindt milk chocolate. Banista Boy says, are you an AFL fan? Yes, I am. I watched today Eagles and Dockers.